Hi, myself Naveen Kumar Sani. In the course of Wireless and Mobile Communication, code REC 085, today we are going to start Unit 3, in which the topic vocoder we are going to discuss. So basically, what are the vocoders? So vocoders is nothing but this is a category of voice track or the voice coder. So which is used for decode the human speech. Okay, or it can analyze or synthesize the human speech signal for the data compression, multiplexing and so on. So basically in this, the vocoder we can say also this is the audio processor that is used to transmit the speech or the voice signal of the human being into the digital form. Fine. So in this case also we can say that the vocoder is used as a short form for the voice coder. So as we said, the voice codec. Okay, so these are basically used for digital coding of the speech and the voice simulations. Okay, so what's the bit rate for the vocoder? So when we use it as a narrowband vocoder, that is approximately 1.2 to 64 kbps, and this vocoder operates on the principle of formants. So this is very important. And what are the formants? So these are basically the components of the speech, just like there is some peaks are there. If this is the like this is the wave. So in that case, this point, these are the formants. These peaks of the signal is called the formants, which is generated by the human being. So the speech signal which is transmitted, it is not needed to transmit the precise waveform. Okay, so we simply transmit the waveform and it will analyze at the transmitter and it is synthesized at the receiver side. And this vocoder also work in such a way that first it capture the characteristic elements of the signal. So we have to require the two signals. First is the first will be the voice signal that may be categorized into voice or unvoiced signal, and second one can be of the noise. Okay, so unvoiced signal in that is called the noise signal. So we compare these two signals and into the vocoder. So what's the basic characteristic of the vocoder, which is the speech coding system, as we said, and it analyzes the voice signal at the transmitter and transmit the parameters which is derived from the analysis of the speech signal, and then it is synthesized the voice at the receiver using those parameters of the system of the voice. Okay, and in that the pitch frequency which is more speakers which we have which have the below than 300 hertz, and it is extracted in this information from the signal, which is little bit typical to extract it from that. So for that purpose we use the pole frequencies. So this pole frequency which corresponds to the resonant frequency itself of the vocal track, which are oftenly called the formants of the speech signal. So the pole frequency is used in the vocal in our vocoders. So in that formants, as we said, the peaks of the signal. So for the adult, so these peaks are centered, or the formants are centered at the different frequencies. So these frequencies are mentioned here, like 500 hertz, 1500 to 500. Okay, and then the 3500 or 3000 or 3500 hertz. So these are the some pole frequencies or the formants which are centered around these frequencies for the adult case. So it is it's a speech human speech production system which is analogy with the system in the mechanical form. So it shows that the lungs it generates the air, and because of the lungs and the air, the speech is coming out from the mouth. So there is a glottis within the in the throat, and the lungs are there. So when there is a pump of air inside the lungs, then along with that glottis itself, the sound is produced by the mouth. So it means the source of human speech is the lungs, which generates the source in sound pressure. So that sound may be in the two forms, may be the voiced excited sound or it may be the unvoiced excited. So the two ways, two sounds are generated in that way. So we will discuss also about the what are different type of voiced or unvoiced sounds. So this is this is obtained through the vocal cords, the voiced and unvoiced sounds. So in this way, we just simply add on this this speeches from which is coming from the lungs, okay, and then this portion is called the quasi-periodic excited signal. So this signal which is coming out from the this voiced excited, okay, so this voice excited signal will be the quasi-periodic excited signals, and then we have the articulation of that signal, so which is articulate the signal into the in speech form. Okay, so this is the system through which the voice is coming out from the lungs, and this is the output of that. The speech is the output of that, of the vocal. So similar to that, we have a system which is divided into two parts. First is the excitation part, and second one is the articulation part. So in the excitation part, the energy is the source of generating the voice, and it is bifurcated into two parts, the voiced and unvoiced. So it is based on the decision making device which is inbuilt in that. Then there is a tone generator and a noise generator. So as I said, the voice are the voice signals or the voiced decisions are towards the is based on the fundamental frequency which is the pole frequency, and this is a voiced sound. And below that there is a noise generator. So this noise generator is like nothing but like a unvoiced sound. Then it is going into the different type of filters. So these filters are variable filters like a filter coefficients, which we have the adaptive filters like of or the equalizers. Then the resultant will be the speech, and it is coming out from the mic. Okay, so this is the equivalent synthesized speech production system which looks like similar to the human speech production modeling system. So it simply says that the voice which is modeled is used to simulate voice and a speech which contains a sequence of voiced and unvoiced. So this is the voiced and the unvoiced sounds. So this is basic for the operation of the voice model. What are the voiced and unvoiced? So these voiced sounds are basically the sound which is generated by the vibrations of the vocal cords. Okay, the sound which is pronounced by the letters. So what are the letters which is the unvoiced sound? These are the S, P or F, which is known as the unvoiced sounds. So these unvoiced sounds are generated by the ear expelling the air through the lips or teeth. Okay, so these voiced sound are simulated by the impulse generator or the tone generator generation which is used for the generating the frequency or the pole frequency. So in that the frequency of which is equivalent to the fundamental frequency of the vocal cord. So this based on this fundamental frequency, the different multiple frequencies will be there. Okay, so the noise source which is present in the circuit is used to simulate the unvoiced sound. So this is all about the voiced and unvoiced sound which is generating by the mouth, and it is coming out through the lungs of our human body. Okay, so same thing is we have the source in the mechanical form, that is the energy which is generated by the energy source. Okay, then it means second thing which is very important in that vocoder, the first part is analysis. So, and we analyze the signal first at the transmitter side, and then we synthesize at the receiver side. So this analysis and the synthesis part is called, completely section is called the vocoders. So when we talk about the voice encoder, so the system which is shown here, it shows that this is the speech signal in the encoder. We are just encoding the signal which is coming, I mean the analog to our digital form. So for that one we require approx 15 dB band pass filters, which is of size 200 to 400 is the first band pass filter. Similarly, we have the second band pass filter which is 400 to 600 hertz. Then we have the up to the 3200 to so it will be 3000. So it will be, we can mention it. So this value will be your 3000 or 3200. Okay, so it means the band pass filter which we are using, that we are 200 to 3200 hertz, and we bifurcate it in terms of band pass filter, which is of 15 band pass filters we are using for that. Then at the receiver side itself we are using the rectifiers, which is used for generating the DC pulses or the DC voltage. Okay, so in this we are using the rectifiers and the low pass filter. So we have the 15 rectifiers and the low pass filter for generating the DC voltages. Then we have the frequency discriminator, which is also generating the DC voltage which is proportional to the voice frequency. Okay, so then we are using the ADC and the multiplexing. So based on that, the output which is coming out, this is the encoded voice signal in terms of digital form. Okay, so in this way we generate the voice. So in the voice decoder, opposite of that thing will be there, that at the decoder what is received, this is the encoded voice signal is received at the decoder side, and the opposite functionality is happened here as compared to the encoder side. So there we are using the ADC and the multiplexer, but here we are using the demultiplexer and the DAC, and we are very much aware about the DAC and the demultiplexer concept. And then we are using the balanced modulator, the different balanced modulator, like if we are using a 15 band pass filter, then we are using the 15 balanced modulator at the demodulation side. Okay, so for that again we are using the band pass filters. So this is the band pass filter which has 15, again the same frequency range we have to obtain, which we are using at the encoder side, which is 200 to 3200 hertz. Okay, so this is the band pass filter. Then to recover it the same signal, we are using the decoder, and this decoder will be acted by the based on the noise generator. So this noise generator will enable the band pass filter, balance modulator, and this if it is there at the, it will show the unvoiced sound, right? As I said, the noise generator will generate the unvoiced sound. So for unvoiced sounds, so this switch will be connected with the noise generator. When it is connected with this, the pulse generator, so it will generate this is for the voiced sounds. So this bifurcation of the voiced or unvoiced sound, we have the noise generator and the pulse generator for that. So the frequency which we are using for the pulse generator, it will be same which we are using at the encoding side. So at the end, the resultant of the speech output will be which is obtained at the output, that is correct, that is same which we are transmitted at the transmitter side. So this is a complete functionality of the voice encoder and decoder. So we will take few of the vocoders which is well known in our system, that is channel vocoders, and these are very important vocoders, and formant vocoders. Then we have the capstan vocoders. Then we have the voiced excited vocoder, LPC10, which are linear predictive coding, that is LPC, which is very much known, and core excited linear prediction, and then we have the mixed excited linear prediction and the adaptive differential pulse code modulation. So this is a short form which is very much well known, that is CLP, MELP and the ADPCM. So these are the different type of vocoders. So basic vocoder is generally is the channel vocoder, which is the same as the simple vocoder we talk about. So in the channel vocoder, we will take the few of example of out of all these vocoder types. So first one is the channel vocoder. So in the channel vocoder, what happens? The sound which is generated from the source is mainly linearly separated from the intelligence modeling vocal tract filter. Okay, so in this the speech signal which is assumed to be of two types, the same which we have discussed in the vocoder side. So that is the voiced and unvoiced sound. So this voiced sound which are the result of the quasi periodic vibrations. Okay, so this is the quasi periodic vibrations of the vocal tract or the vocal cord. Okay, and unvoiced sound, these unvoiced sounds which are fictitives produced by the turbulent airflow through the constrictions. Okay, so this is the differences for the voiced sound and the unvoiced sound. So the voiced sound are the result of quasi-periodic vibrations, and the unvoiced sound are the due to the turbulence airflow. And the pitch frequency for most speakers below 300. So this is just for information about the channel vocoder. Then the pole frequency, which is correspond to the resonant frequency of the vocal tract and also called the formants. So these are the very important points which we must know when we are talking about the channel vocoders. Next is the formant vocoder. So in the formant vocoder, which is again similar to the channel vocoder, concept is same, but the channel this formant vocoder, it can operate at low bit rate that the channel vocoder, because it is it has a very fewer control signals. Okay, so formant vocoders attempts to transmit the positions of the peak, or that peak is called the formants of the spectral envelope, and instead of sending samples. So in the channel vocoder we simply send the samples, but here we send the spectral envelope of the signal, and it is the spectral envelope of the peaks. So the formant vocoder, which must be able to identify at least 3 formants for the presentation of speech signal. So it is simply we have taken the example like this. If this is some peaks of the signal, say these first 3. So this is a group of 3 signals can be formants can be get together to identify to represent the speech signal. Okay, so this formant vocoder can also reproduce the speech at the bit rate, which is lower than bit rate, that is 1200 bits per second. Capstan vocoders. So in the capstan vocoder, which separates the excitation and the vocal tract spectrum by inverse Fourier transform. So this is a very important point which we must know about the capstan. Okay, so in this the inverse Fourier transform is used for the which is used in the capstan vocoders. Then the low frequency coefficients in the capstan correspond to the vocal tract spectral envelope, and the high frequency excitation coefficients forming a periodic pulse strain at the multiples of the sampling period. And in that the linear filtering is also performed in to separate the vocal tract capstan coefficients from the excitation coefficients. So these two these vocal tract capstan coefficients from the excitation coefficients. So these two coefficients we have to separate it out using the capstan vocoders. Then at the receiver side, the vocal tract coefficients capstan coefficients are Fourier transform. Okay, and at the receiver side we use the inverse Fourier transform, and at the receiver side it is used the Fourier transform to produce the vocal tract impulse responses. Okay, so next some for information for convolving these impulse responses and the synthesis excited signal. So the original speech signal can be reconstructed in that way. So this is the capstan vocoders. Similar to that, we have the next vocoder, that is voice excited vocoder. So in the voice excited vocoders, which eliminates the need for the pitch extraction and the voice detection operations. So this is some advancement of the vocoders. So in that the voice excited vocoders come into a picture, in which the voice excited vocoder which eliminates the need of pitch extraction and voicing the detection operations. And this system, which is used the hybrid combination of a PCM transmission for the frequency band of speech, which combined with the channel vocoding of the higher frequency bands, and the pitch signal which is generated at the synthesizer by rectifying band pass filtering and the clipping the baseband signal. And the voice excited signal vocoder, which has to be designed operating with the at the 7200 bits per second to 9600 bits per second. So this is a bit rate which is used for the which is designed for the voice excited vocoders. So these are three channel vocoder or formant vocoders and the voice excited vocoders, which are the basics of the vocoder system which we are discussing here. So advancement of all these vocoders are which is practically implemented, that is the LPC, linear predictive coding. So this LPC, linear predictive coding, is a method mostly in the audio signal processing is used, and speech processing for presenting the spectral envelope of the digital signal of speech is compressed form. So we just compress the signal, or compress the signal for the compression point of view, we use the LPC, linear predictive coding. So which is using the information of the linear predictive model. So most signals such as speech, music or video signals which are partially predictive and partially random itself. This is the characteristics of the signal. So these signals can be modeled at the output of a filter which is excited by an uncorrelated inputs. Okay. So the random inputs model, which is predictable part of the signal, and the filter will be the which is filter model the predictable structure of the signal. Okay, so we have to design the filter in that way that so that we can predict the signal efficiently. So the aim of the LPC is to the model is the mechanism that introduces the correlation. So correlation is very effective way to synthesize the signal or the speech signal. Okay. So in this way the effective LPC will work. So just for diagram, it is mentioned that the source is random in nature, and the output of this source will be excitation of the input signal, which is passing through the glottal speech model. We use the pitch model filter in that. Then we use the pitch period to bifurcate these signals. Then the output of the glottal pitch signal will be the which will be random in nature again, and it will pass through the vocal tract model, which has the transfer function, that is Hz. Then the output of this vocal tract model will be the speech signal. So what we call the pitch filter. So this pitch filter is also called the long term predictor, and it models the correlation of the each sample with the sample pitch period away. So this pitch filter is also called the long term predictor. Similar to that, vocal tract, this vocal tract model in which we are using the vocal tract. So this is called the short term predictor, and it models the correlators of each sample with the few preceding samples. So these are the filters which we are using. First is the pitch filter, second one is the vocal tract filter at the system. So in this way the speech can be generated, but this speech will be random. Again, it will be in nature, and it is completely based on the glottal pitch. Okay, so the lungs which is generating the air, which is generating the vibrations, and it is coming from the mouth. So our tongue will help to speak the words. So without if tongue is not in generating vibrations, in that case the voice will not be come out from the mouth. So there is a complete combination within the body, so which generates the sound. So those sounds can be of voiced or unvoiced sounds. So in LPC system, again in this model, that amplitude of a signal at time xm using a linear weighted combinations of p passed samples. We take a p passed samples, that is x m minus 1, x m minus 2, x m minus p, as this value will be this one. This is the estimated value. X cap m is equal to summation k is equal to 1 to p. These are m past samples we are observing in that ak x and m minus k. So where this integer value m, this is the discrete time index and this is the prediction of the xm. So xm cap is the prediction of the xm. So xm is the original signal. So this xm will be the original signal and ak is the predictor coefficient. So this prediction coefficient is, we have to decide this ak, this predictor coefficient, so that we can provide the weights to the signal. Okay, if we have the signal which is of good in condition, then we can provide the high weight. If we have the signal which is of low priority, then we can provide the low weight. And then we have to find the correlation of the signals. So this correlation, after passing through this predictor coefficient, it will sum up at the linear predictor and the resultant will be the prediction of xm. So the input which is passing, which is the input to the different stages or the delays of the system, and it is passing through this a1, ak, ap. So these all are the prediction coefficients. So when we multiply this prediction coefficient with the delayed version of the signal and we sum up all this using the summer, then that is the linear predictor. Simple addition is going on. So the resultant, that is xm cap, that is the prediction of the signal. So our main motto must be that xm must be equivalent to xm cap. So when it is passing through the system, then the resultant we have to observe in that way in the LPC. Then another coder which we have, the LECP for the prediction. So the main principle behind CLP is, it's called analysis and by synthesis. So in short we say ABS, analysis by synthesis, which means that the encoding, that is the analysis part, which is performed at the by perceptually optimizing the decoding, synthesizes signal in a closed loop. So it is mentioned here that this shows the first code book, then adaptive code book is there, which is E and minus T, and when it is passed through the fixed code book gain and it is passed through the adaptive code book gain, and the resultant will be the excitation En. And this is a feedback path with the past subframes, as we have discussed in the previous case. Past subframes is there and it's passed through this one, and based on that this value will be changed. Then the resultant will be passing through this synthesizer filter, which is at the receiver side, and this is our excitation. So this is the part in which this technique are based on three ideas which is mentioned here, that linear prediction LP model to model the Vogel track, which we have discussed in the previous few slides. Then use the adaptive and mixed fixed codebook entries as input of the LP model. So this adaptive and fixed codebook are well defined already by the specifications, so we cannot change it. We just simply use that codebook to analyze the signal. Then search performed in the closed loop in a perceptually weighted domain. Okay, so these all are the three techniques which are used in CLP. Similar to that, we have the mixed excited linear prediction, that is MELP. In this vocoder, which evolved from the improvement and modification to another code excited, that is CLP, which is also known as LPC10 itself. So this MELP coder uses a mixed excitation model that can produce more natural sounding speech because it can represent a richer ensemble of the possible speech characteristics. And this MELP, which encoding is robust and difficult acoustic environment with the significant background noise and revibrations, such that as the frequency encountered in the commercial and military communication system. So this system was used in the military communication system itself, that is MELP. So there are some features which is included into the LPC, that is the LPC. Okay, so in the first is the mixed excitation, a periodic pulses, adaptive sector enhancement, pulse dispersion, and the Fourier magnitude and modeling. So these are the 5 features which are added in the MELP into the LPC. So last is the adaptive differential pulse core modulation, which is simply mentioned that PCM is very much efficient digital modulation techniques or the coding technique of the waveform, and the principle of adaptive differential pulse core modulation is to our knowledge of the signal in the past time to produce the use in the future itself, and the resulting signal being the error of this prediction, and the PCM which is performed before the ADPCM to decrease the number of bits for coding by passing through a PCM process before transforming to a ADPCM samples. Okay, so I think we should stop it here. So next topic, next lecture we will going out. So thank you very much.